Hello and welcome to anyone and everyone who's decided to watch this video. Today, we are once again looking at the Jakks Pacific Sonic the Hedgehog 4-inch action figure line. And we got a little bit of a mix of figures from the two most recent waves, because I only want to talk about the new characters from the waves, and what may be the final characters for this whole line, question mark? Because I've talked about this before about my conspiracy theories and worries that they're going to cancel this line in favor of a 5-inch line like they have with the Mario movie and Sonic Prime and soon to be Sonic Movie Free, because we do know now that Sonic Movie Free will have 5-inch figures, not 4-inch ones, and how I hate that because, one, I don't want this line to go away, and two, because the Sonic Prime toys are bad. They just are bad. They're hollow, they feel bad, they got more articulation, but whatever, they're not as good as these. They're just not. Articulation don't make a toy good, and those Sonic Prime toys are proof. Apparently the Mario movie toys are good, but that's Mario, and I don't care about Mario, I care about Sonic. That's what the video is about, it's about Sonic. Who cares what Mario's doing? And I really don't want to lose this line. There is another wave coming, but it's a wave of all repacks, not even a single new character, which I'd have to go back and check what every wave was again, because I think it's the first wave to not have a new character. But will that wave even happen? Because Neom here, his wave, had a figure get canceled in it, because his wave mates are repacks of Classic Sonic and Silver, but there was supposed to be a repack of Rouge, and it got canceled. Or at least Big Bad Toy Store canceled Rouge. Maybe that's just a weird thing for Big Bad Toy Store only, and Rouge will show up at our Walmarts and Targets. And that other wave will come out just fine, and we'll just keep getting 4-inch figures alongside the 5-inch figures. Because there is actually another 5-inch line. Again, if you check the leak lists, there is another 5-inch line coming that is not connected to any movies or shows. So, really concerning. But at the same time, we just had San Diego Comic-Con, which revealed that we are getting a Walmart exclusive 4-inch IDW Metal Virus Saga Sonic. And I'm like, if we're getting an exclusive of a 4-inch line, and admittedly, they did just start up a just plain Sega line that is also 4-inch, maybe there is hope. Maybe this 4-inch Sonic line is not dead and will not be replaced by inferior, hollow 5-inch figures that are more expensive and are just worse. Those 5-inch more expensive, worse figures will happen, but perhaps 4-inch will live on for the games anyway. We're definitely not getting 4-inch for movie free, which sad. I would like 4-inch for movie free. But at least we might still be getting our 4-inch game figures, and that is the most important thing. So, enough doom and gloom. Let's look at these awesome toys and start with the one I'm holding, the repaint of the lot, Metal Sonic 3.0. Focus. There we go. From Sonic Rivals and Sonic Rivals 2, both a separate character in the game, but in Rivals 2 he is also a alternate costume you can get from Metal Sonic because he's playable in that game. And he is Eggman Nega's improved Metal Sonic from the future. And we'll just bring in the original Metal Sonic for a side-by-side. Yes, he's all black with yellow lines as opposed to the blue. And there's also a Metal 2.0 skin, which is just this metal, but with bright blue lines in place of the yellow lines on 3.0 here. And yeah, pretty nice. 3.0's always had a good little bee color scheme. If you've read Archie Sonic, the character of Shard is based off of 3.0, if you didn't know. But, that said, the yellow on him is a bit faded. It is clearly a single coat. So the black is bleeding through, and don't do single coats on dark colors like black. You gotta at least do double coats. and so that is a little upsetting. And he still has the weird elbows. I don't even get why this mold has elbows, but like the weird ones where his arm can only bend out like this, just like how I pointed out with the original Metal Sonic, although I feel like I might be getting a little bit more movement out of 3.0 for some reason. Just a little bit. And one of the few molds in this line to have elbows. For some reason, the robots get them. And I feel like they didn't need elbow joints. Because, again, articulation, not a good toy makes. But at the same time, I do think this whole Metal Sonic figure is one of the best figures in the line. And to get the other character that uses this design off of this really good toy is really, really fun. It'd be cool if we got 2.0 as well, because apparently, according to the game, you gotta say it is 3.0, not 3.0. It's 3.0, and yeah, I do think it is awesome that we got to see this lad come back, and he can be here to bolster the ranks of our evil robots, because we gotta have the more bad guys out there. And yeah, it's pretty fun to see 3.0 back and get a action figure for the first time. Yep, and that's enough about him. We will now move on to his wave mate, the Heavy King. Get out of here, Neo. Another hard-boil heavy in the line. The second one, hopefully not the last. Let 4-inch keep going. And I like him. I like him a lot. I like him more than I thought I would. I think he is actually maybe the best egg pawn we have gotten so far, because we've gotten him, Heavy Gunner, and the regular egg pawn. And you know what? Let's just bring them in right away. Bring in the gunner and bring in the regular egg pawn. And it's weird how all three of them are textured differently, because the egg pawn is more glossy and kind of a matte way, though, if that makes any sense. Okay, maybe not the best way to go, but like he feels more Sonic Free like, I guess, because Sonic Free was a little more drab, like still pretty colorful, but nowhere near as vibrant as Mania. Also, he is not based on the classic design of the Egg Robo, actually. Is he? There is no modern Egg Robo. It's just, I get confused by the more cartoony eyes of the heavies compared to the Egg Robos. It makes me think this is a modern Sonic robot, and this is classic, but they never did redesign the Egg Robos for modern. They've just always had weird looking eyes like this. But then we put him next to the Gunner, and the Gunner has very pastel paints and softer colors to really invoke the feel of, let's get the regular. Did I call him an egg pawn? Egg Robo. Let's get Egg Robo out of here. Like, there is a bit of a juxtaposition between the two, the Gunner and the King, because the Gunner's got the softer, brighter pastel colors, whereas the King has some glittery sheen to him. He's got that royal sheen, but they feel like they are going for different art styles, which is bizarre, but like, I do prefer the way Heavy King looks, because not only does Gunner look weird compared to King, he looks weird kind of compared to everybody. I think the Gunner looks good. It's just he does stand out in a, are you sure you're in the right toy line way, whereas the King stands out in a look at me, I am beautiful way. And for accessories, he's got the staff. You could take it out of his hand if you wanted to. No real reason to do that. It can go in either hand, though it goes on really tight because the fingers really wrap around it. And if you want his elbow bent, then it is going to stick up. You can have him holding it out straight. And he's got all the nice movement that the previous Egg Robo and Heavy Gunner do. You can flip, flop, do the wrist rotations. His head can turn. He's got the cape there. His legs are sticking out wide. He can do some kicks. His legs do feel a little dumpy compared to the others, even though are they actually? Yes, they are shorter. Get a heavy gunner's arm out of the way. Yeah, they are a little bit shorter than the other two, so that's probably part of the reason. He's just legit a tinier guy, even though he should probably be taller, but like whatever, scale. They're the hard-boiled heavies. I don't care that much about their scale. And Heavy King kind of changed in size in different points in the game anyway, so whatever. And you can get your crazy poses out of him. He can do what you need him to do. Like, you don't need a crazy super articulated Heavy King, but I definitely am glad they gave him some decent articulation so he can raise his scepter aloft in the air. And we didn't even point out the big crystal ball at the top of his scepter. That looks pretty good too. He's got his more of his robot details. He's got his rhino horn. He's got his big flowing cape going around his big fat body, and his bib, his golden bib. It's definitely nice. We got the Heavy King to be our big bad dude, and I don't really care that much about the hard-boiled heavies as overall characters, but they do make some fun toys, and I hope we get the rest of them. Although Heavy Rider will be an interesting one to see how they would do. That one with the Motobug they have to ride on, because they can't do that as a normal price point. So maybe they won't do her, or hopefully they do though, because we got to complete the team. But I think that's enough about the King, and we'll go on to the one that is arguably the most shocking of the free. It's a tie between this one or Free 0.0, and that is Neom Metal Sonic from Sonic Heroes. And wow, what a character to get in the line. I was never expecting this, and feels tiny, like bringing up scale again. Like, I guess Neom Metal Sonic always, I don't know the canonical height of Neom Metal Sonic, but I'm pretty sure he's bigger than regular Metal Sonic, and I don't mean like, yeah, the spike makes him bigger, but I don't think his, I feel like he's gotta be like maybe this, because we never really see him standing next to anybody. Like, in the few shots he has in the game, he's like over there, and the others can't see him because we don't get a proper boss fight with him in this form. We only get the boss fight with him as a big old dragon man, and I guess I could go reread my comics where he shows up for more points of scale, but I do feel like he's supposed to be a bit taller. Like, let's bring in Sonic. Like, yeah, I don't think he's supposed to be this small. I feel like he's meant to be more like this. But at the same time, it's so cool that we got Neo Metal Sonic, because for a long time, a lot of people, especially around my age, when 3D Sonic was getting its groove on, going multi-platform, and Sonic X was around, this was the Metal Sonic to everybody, because Metal Sonic used to not be in a lot of games. He was just that one guy that was on the Sega CD. Then he came back for the fighting game and the racing game and that one Game Gear game. Then they forgot about him for years, aside for that brief cameo in Adventure 1. Then he comes back in in Sonic Heroes, and he's looking all crazy, and he's got a hip cape. Oh, wow, look at that. Got some Palpatine vibes going on here. And he's got a starfish for a head. And he's all crazy looking. And, like, who doesn't... If you're my age... Oh, wow, they painted the inside of his hands. I did not notice that detail. That is cool. That is cool. Anyway, what was I saying? You remember that scene of him raising his hand to the sky and going, all living beings kneel before your master, and then the purple lightning comes bashing down. In fact, I wish that was one of his hands. Like, he's got an accessories holding hand. He doesn't come with accessories. And, like, what is he going to hold? Amy's hammer? I don't know. And he's got a closed fist, which looks worse than the open fist. So I would have kept the open fist and then have this be the reaching out hand. Oh, he could reach to the sky, except not really, because his shoulder pad gets in the way of his head, limiting his movement, although his elbow does give him some reach, some good enough reach. Also, white paint on parts that should be silver. I don't know how to feel about that. That does look a little bit odd, because he's supposed to have the white striping on his arms and legs, but like the hands and these, and I believe the spikes as well, and of course his mouth are supposed to all still be silver, but budget constraints, and it doesn't look bad being in white, but it's definitely not what I'm used to. And speaking of limited articulation, his legs, because he actually still has all the standard movement for legs in this line. He has knees, he's got really good ball joints on his feet. In fact, I think he might have the best feet movement of any figure in the line, because look at that. Because there's so much space in there for the ball joint. But he can't really do anything with it, especially the knee. He can do more of his feet. But he can't really do anything with his knee because of his big solid cape. Like, it's softer plastic, but man, it would have been cool if it was fabric. The fabric for capes has slowly been making a comeback, but it's not making enough of one, because Neom Metal still has a plastic cape. But at the same time, he looks cool. I also never realized he had another spike coming out of his back, limiting his head's movement. That's yeah. He's got a lot of limited articulation. Is he as good as the original Metal Sonic mold? I would not say so. I would definitely say this mold is better. But I love that we finally got a figure of Neo Metal, a design we probably never thought we would get. And I know a lot of fans like to say that this is just what Metal Sonic should look like now, because they don't like that every other character looks different in modern except Metal Sonic. So, and it's like, this is the modern Metal Sonic, and I kind of understand that sentiment, and I almost agree with it, except this Metal Sonic, he is slimmer than classic Metal Sonic, and he has got more of the elongatedness to match with the elongatedness of the modern cast, but like, he's not as changed as the rest of the cast is, and it does sometimes feel a little bit weird with Metal Sonic. So I get it, and I wouldn't mind if Sega was randomly like, you know what, Neo Metal Sonic is the Metal Sonic for now and forever. I would be totally down with that, because I'm going to look at him with his crazy cape and stuff and all his crazy spikes. He'd be fun to have around. Again, it would definitely be cool to see something new done with the character, even though it wasn't that long ago that the comic books were using him, but new things done with him in the games. That would be cool. I don't know if I can honestly say he is the best of these three figures, but he's definitely the one I enjoy the most. And let's bring back in Heavy King so we can have our free figures we're talking about today together again. And just for the heck of it, let's do every robot that has appeared in the 4-inch line. We will bring back in our Heavy Gunner, or put him over here, make sure he's in shot. The Egg Robo, we'll put him back here. We're going to have to zoom out for this. Look at this Turtles playset. Let's get a good shot to keep our free main stars in focus. And we will bring in Mecha Sonic. This is probably still the best overall figure of the line that they've ever done in all of their Sonic stuff. Jakks, we're going to put him in front because of that. We're going to put Mecha in front. One of the first ones I got, too. In fact, I think he was the first. regular metal will go here next to his Neo form, which means we have to move the Egg Robo again. In fact, we'll just put him here next to his King and Gunner. Or maybe not. There we go. And then, not a bad guy, so it's kind of weird putting him in here, but Omega, because we gotta do all the robots. And, yeah. Just look at how much this line has grown just from looking at it right here from the perspective of all the robo dudes. And I really bringing it up again. I'm really worried Jakks is going to kill it just so they can charge us more money for worse 5-inch figures. And yeah, it would be really sad if that happens. But look at all we've got and how literally, aside from Metal Sonic, every one of these is the first time this character ever got a toy, except for this one. All first times in Sonic toy history. And just remember that if 4-inch Jakks goes away, it'll still be the best Sonic toys we've ever had. Without question, I think that's just objectively true. And I just hope I'm wrong and this line gets to live on and gives us everything from the games. And apparently we're getting comic book stuff now, so maybe we can finally get Tangle and Whisper. That'd be amazing. But yeah, so the point is, new figures, not Neo, that's Neo, Metal Sonic 3.0, best of the free, Heavy King, pretty good, best Egg Robo, Neo Metal, good, but a lot of it is banked more on the nostalgia than the figure itself, but the figure itself still pretty decent. So I think I've been rambling on enough here. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys around.